Right, I thought I'd do a video not competing with Mr. Graham Evans whatsoever, because I haven't got his skill nor his equipment. But I just thought that I have so much information from people, so many conversations with people. I just thought I'd just sort of put it in a video to make sure everybody knows exactly what the problems that people have got with this plan. Starting down here at the bottom of Vale Street, or by Lidl's, it's from here up by that white Mini, that's where the one-way will start. So at the moment, the way the plans stand, the cars will be able to come out of Lidl's and turn left and go down. However, I must say that we have been conversations saying that they might extend the one-way right down to the junction with Station Road. Who knows? One of the first issues really is that there wasn't really enough information on the plans to tell us exactly where the people were going to walk and where the cars were going to be, which side of the pedestrians going to be. From what I can gather from emails, the pedestrian side is going to be up the left-hand side. So there'll be bollards running up the left-hand side, widening the pavement to allow for social distancing and cyclists. Who knows if that's right? I can only go on what, the assumption I've made on the information I've got. Now, the first issue really is the butchers here, J.H. Jones Butcher. They've not been approached at all, so they have absolutely no idea where they are going to be able to load and unload their goods. Remembering that they have got fairly heavy goods, they've got half size of beef, they've got lambs, they've got pigs, they've got all sorts of stuff, all the cheese, all the eggs, everything that they actually sell in the shop has got to be delivered to the shop. As you can see, there is room here on this side for them to pull in, but it's totally impractical to think that the wagons are going to have to stop here and carry everything across. For health and safety and moving and handling for a start off, and secondly, remembering that they'd have to walk across the path of the traffic. So really, that is not feasible whatsoever. Then here we have Kai Glass. Here's another residential home where there are 3 deliveries a week, and anybody who uses Vale Street will know that quite often they obstruct the road, and that's going to happen when it's a one-way system as well. Once again, the traffic could actually, or the wagon actually could park on the right, but that's just not practical whatsoever. Again, for moving and handling and health and safety towards the drivers, they're going to have to walk across the traffic, and they're going to have to be lifting heavy loads. Right, here we are now at Happy Homes. Once again, large wagons delivering large heavy goods. Can't be expected to park here, surely outside St Thomas's, because again, having to carry the goods across the path of traffic and the dangers of lifting. It's been suggested that there'd be a loading bay here outside the shop, and the wagon would actually drive up past the shop and reverse back into the loading bay. This would mean that the pedestrian path would actually have to cross to the other side. Again, this is, the councillors and the planners or whoever changing the plans as they go along. As these problems are raised, they're changing the plans. The other issue, obviously, is that we're outside St Thomas's. You've got this pull in here. What happens when there's a funeral? What happens when there's a special service? That's going to cause nothing but congestion on this road. Now, the other morning I was walking up here, and this is where I came across the bin lorry. It's only a small bin lorry, but it's going to cause congestion. It's going to be stopping at every house. At the moment, it goes up on the left, collecting from the houses on the left, and then it comes back down on the right. All comes down on the left, obviously, and collects the bins from the houses on the other side. So it's estimated that it's going to be at least 30 minutes if it's going to have to do them all the collections on the same run. Right, we're at the top of Vale Street now, at where a County Councillor said to me the other day that this is a pinch point by the library, and you know, I can't disagree. It is. It's narrow over there to stay on the pavement, but what I would say is that it's been a pinch point all my life and probably all my father's life. So it's been like that for years, and we've always managed. What's so different about it now? So we'll look at High Street now. I would think it's quite a wide street. Do we really need assistance to socially isolate here? What you have to remember here is that there's actually 2 rows of traffic for pedestrians. You've got the lower and the higher, and then you've still got across the road as well. So you've got plenty of space for pedestrians to socially isolate. As we walk along here, you can see we're coming to where the cafe Denbigh is, and Denbigh was offered to have tables outside. She already has a couple outside, and they certainly aren't causing difficulties now, never really have done, but she was offered the option to have more tables, but it sounds absolutely incredible. But the actual tables that the council were offering her weren't outside the shop, they were here on the other side of the road. So it does sound horrendous, doesn't it, having to cross over this street, which would be fairly busy, carrying hot drinks and hot food. It was originally intended or suggested in the plans that the loading bay was going to be over by the Angel, and the deliveries for both Evan Jones and Bevans were going to have to be done there. They were going to have to be unloaded there, and all the goods would have to be pushed along the street here to the stores. I believe Bevans have said absolutely no way. I'm not sure really what's happening with Evan Jones. I certainly don't think that they've been approached officially about what's going to happen. But I think the plan now was changed with Bevans, so that they could have a space across the road outside Easy Bite there. But then that wasn't suitable either, because obviously again the delivery drivers would have to carry all the goods across the road in front of traffic. So I believe now that it's been deemed that this pavement now is wide enough to social distance, and so they'll have a loading bay on this side. I have a feeling that the pedestrian route is going to be crossing to the opposite side of the street, somewhere along High Street. I mean, it's quite interesting. Normally, or quite often, especially towards the weekend, this road here is quite congested with cars pulling on the pavement, with takeaways, picking up food, and I really don't know how that's going to work. I mean, it's interesting, I think, really, that this pavement now is deemed to be wide enough, which I couldn't deny, wouldn't dispute. And yet, in the very beginning, for the when it was trying to be justified about the plans, the county councillor was suggesting that the pavement wasn't wide enough outside Bevans to socially distance, and yet suddenly now, because there's issues about the loading bays, suddenly it is big enough. Now we've got Mr. Griffiths across the road, who's got his photography studio. He's quite concerned because the parking bays outside his shop are actually going. There will not be any parking bay. So he's quite concerned about his livelihood, you know, saying that people want to be able to stop outside the shop. They want to be able to stop to do their shopping on town. And when they go to his shop, quite often they're carrying heavy frames or pictures, and they don't want to have to go to a car park that's, you know, a good way away. Then we arrive in Lenton Pool. Traffic will be able to go up Smithfield or up Henton Street, or via Henton Place to Barkerswell Lane. Remember, all the traffic coming into Denbigh from Rail Street will be coming down to this junction. Now, people who live at Henton Street or in Henton, they are fully aware of how difficult it is to get out of this junction already. So if there's going to be more traffic coming along here, how on earth are the cars going to get out? How are they going to merge? Also, one of the biggest questions as well is how on earth are the pedestrians going to manage, because they're going to have to cross the road as well. So, looking up towards Morrison's, what's interesting about Morrison's is that I went there about 10 days ago and they knew nothing about the plans whatsoever. They hadn't been approached by Denbigh County Council. So I provided them with all the information they needed and they forwarded that to their head office. So far I've not heard anything. What you have to remember is that opposite the Morrison's is you've got your fire station. So the fire engine coming from there is going to have to hit this junction as well. Remembering, taking into consideration that the personnel from the fire service, all the firemen, is perhaps going to take longer for them to actually get to the fire station if there's a call. And when they leave the fire station in the fire engine, if they're going to somewhere like Love Lane, whereas in the past they would have just gone here and gone up Bridge Street and turned up Love Lane, they are now going to have to go all the way down back as Wells Lane, Grove Road and up Vale Street. I mean, it has been suggested that there are several minutes longer for people, for the emergency services to get to certain areas of Denbigh, and I just don't think that is worth a one-way system. So here we are now on back as Wells Lane, which is going to be two-way traffic coming up and down. You've got Bryn Teg there. The residents there will be able to go straight up back as Wells Lane if they want to go to, for example, Morrison's. If they're coming from, say, Aldi's or Home Bargains, they're going to have to go the long way round up Vale Street and into Linton Pool. You can see the speed of cars here. Okay, they're going to make it 20 mile an hour. What I would say is that it's 30 mile an hour now. But who polices it? Nobody. If you want to walk like I do of an evening in Denbigh, you see the speed of the traffic. So here's the cars now, residents' cars parked at the side of the road. There's no information on the plans about whether they're going to continue to do that. Are they going to introduce more yellow lines, or are they going to be able to park? I have asked the question, I emailed, again I had no reply. So you've got all these people here who are parking. Where are they going to park if they can't park here? Are their cars going to be at risk? If you've got, remember, coming down here, you've got your double-decker buses and your vans and your wagons. They're coming from town. They're coming down back as Wells Lane. Coming up, you've got anything. Again, because I walk this road, the amount of tractors and trailers, the amount of tractors or Land Rovers and trailers going to markets, etc. is just incredible, and they're going to be coming up and meeting double-decker buses coming down. Now as we come round this corner here, we've got the garage. See, this is what's wonderful, is that people are adamant that this is too dangerous. They're adamant that they don't want this. They don't want this one-way scheme. So here we've got the garage. Speaking to the proprietor, he says he can have numerous vans and deliveries here in the day, because the front of his forecourt gets blocked up with cars that are being worked on. Then they park on the pavement outside the garage. How that's going to work with two-way traffic, I don't know. And as we go down here, once again you can see the residents' cars parked outside their houses. Are they going to have double yellow lines? Are they going to stop it? Again, nothing on the plans to tell us, nothing whatsoever. Now this is the little mini roundabout, which they say by the police station. This is where a lot of the wagons that come down back as Wells Lane will carry on up to the industrial estate. But as I say, the buses and vans and things, cars going into the bottom of town, they will turn right here by the roundabout and go onto Grove Road. Now then, I don't know anything about this roundabout. I don't often use it, but we've had lots of people who live around this area saying that during the winter when it's icy and frosty, that it can be a nightmare, that they've often witnessed vehicles stuck there not able to move. So if that becomes congested, it sort of holds up all the Barkerswell Lane, which would go back onto Lenton Pool. And again, the question is, what happens if emergency vehicle needs to get through? You know, we've got the police station. We have been in touch with the police, Inspector Kirkham, and he advised us that North Wales Police hadn't been advised of the plans, and he obviously knows now. He has suggested that he will probably get contacted after the consultation decision is made. So who knows? Now this is the interesting part, I suppose. This is going up now to the junction with Beaconshill and Grove Road. This is our Dyffryn, which is going to be the new extra care residence for potentially people, not being discriminatory in any way, shape or form, but potentially people, older people maybe, people who have got mobility issues, people who have got sensory impairment. Now these people here, I have no idea how they're going to get into town, because there's no bus stop anywhere near them really. So they can either walk up there or they can walk down Grove Road. Now, I'm not sure again, this is where the lack of information for the consultation. We have no idea what's going to be on this road, no idea where the bollards are going to be for the pedestrians. I'm assuming, and perhaps wrongly, that they're going to be on the left, so that these houses are not stepping out straight into the path of vehicles coming down. But if there's going to be bollards down the left, I mean, you've only got to look by this red car. Isn't this going to make this road extremely narrow? You're going to have a double-decker bus coming down here. And look at the pavement. You know, you've got people coming down here. Again, maybe mobility or sensory issues. You're going to backdraft from double-decker buses. It's going to be really difficult, and I don't understand why it's considered that this is safe for pedestrians just to make Vale Street one way. I don't understand that at all. So again, we come down here and it's an extremely narrow road. Certainly wasn't built and designed for heavy vehicles, but it will be only one way. So the traffic will just come down this road. Once again, as you can see, there's cars parked on the left-hand side. Are they going to be able to continue to do that? Don't know. Don't know is the answer, because there's no information. If they can't park there, where are they going to park? So Grove Road now is going to be one way, just as far as the bottom here at the back of Lidl's. Now that's probably been designed so that Lidl's still have access to their loading bay at the back, because the wagons tend to come along, or they always do, they come up Station Road and come up Grove Road to the bottom and turn into the Lidl's loading bay. So the one-way system will stop on the corner here by these yellow lines on the floor. So then it'll be two-way from there. Once again, look at the cars. Where are they going to park? Are they going to still be able to stay there? I've no idea. Now, one of the issues that was brought up to me in the very beginning was the question about what they call rat running. And potentially you could have people coming from Aldi's and Home Bargains and Peacocks and all those and thinking, I need to go uptown, which is the quickest way. So they're going to come up Grove Road up to here, and they're going to go this way. They're going to go up Middle Lane. So they can rush up there, then they can turn and come up on Vale Street higher up, or come out on Beaconshill. It's hard to know, but that has definitely been a suggestion that will happen. So it's a risk for the people who walk on the road, it's a risk for the people who park their cars. Now, when I asked the question, I had an email reply saying that they were considering making it one way right down to the bottom. Well, obviously the question then is, well, how on earth do Lidl's have their deliveries? I doubt very much, especially with those cars parked there, that a wagon will be able to come in down and turn into here. It's very, very doubtful. And again, this is where I worry, because I just wonder whether Denbighshire County Council are so desperate to get this system in, this one-way system in, that they're going to give incentives. They're going to give Lidl some money to change their access or whatever. That worries me. Again, you can see down here now, can't you? These houses here have no yellow lines outside. If they have yellow lines put outside, the value of their house will go down, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So the people on these streets have concerns. They have concerns about the value of the house, the safety of the houses, the safety of their property, like their cars, the safety of themselves and their children. So you can see there's lots of signs around here. And this is the biggie, isn't it? This junction is already dangerous. How many people would deny that? Very few. It's an accident waiting to happen. You've got cars coming from Vale Street and they just go straight across the junction. They're cutting across the cars that are coming down Grove Road. So this is already a black spot. And guess what? Guess what the planners have done? There'll be a bus stop, and the bus stop will be here. The bus stop will be here on the left, opposite the theatre. So can you imagine the cars coming from Vale Street up here and to go to Aldi's? They're going to be coming up. I presume they'll move that parking bay outside the theatre, but it doesn't really make much difference. But the bus stop will be here. So you've got all your vehicles on this junction, which is already dangerous, and now they're going to add on a bus stop into that pot of dangerousness. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. So really, that's the route, basically. Right, I've spoken to lots of people. I've spoken to residents and businesses. The residents, as I say, are sort of concerned about their own homes. The businesses, some of the concerns they have about this one-way system is that Denbighshire County Council is saying it's temporary, but what they're saying is once they've lost their custom, it's very difficult to get it back. So if it quietens down for the 18 months or whatever, are the people actually going to come back to Denbigh to shop? They'll have already found somewhere else. They're concerned about the reduction in on-street parking. Shoppers just won't bother coming to the top of town. There's concern about the loading bays, confusion about where the bays are going to be. And if you can't get goods delivered, how do they continue with their business? Some businesses sell goods to local people and they need delivering from the shops like Evan Jones and Happy Homes. That's going to have an effect on them as well, with them trying to get around the one-way system. The queuing, with the increase in traffic on Vale Street, it's inevitable that there's going to be queuing traffic. This will put people off coming to town. And what the business is saying is that there's already a lack of footfall. There's no need for wide pavements. There's no need for people to worry about social distancing. We already managed to do it. And then as well, businesses feel that it's diverting visitors away from town. For example, cars that are coming down from the moors, cars are coming down from Hentland, they won't be coming across town. They'll be going straight down Barker's Wells Lane. They won't even see our lovely town. Business is saying that business is already poor. Local economy is poor. So this is just going to make it worse. They don't need this now. They've struggled through lockdown. They just need to be able to get on with their jobs now. And need to encourage people to shop in Denbigh, not discourage. Businesses on Vale Street and High Street are also worried about the impact of the work that's going to happen when they're putting all these bollards down. If they lose custom while there's roadworks, those customers will never come back. So I'm hoping that this helps to identify really some of the problems with this one-way route. Denbighshire County Council and the county councils will say we've had a consultation, but it's pretty obvious that the plans are already being changed as we raise issues. So how can it be said we've had a consultation if the plans are changing before the decision has even been made? I would just like to urge Denbighshire County Council to reconsider this plan. Please don't put this one-way system in Denbigh. Speak to us, talk to us. We've got lots of ideas how to improve our town. If only you would listen. Thank you. I would just like to add once more that I'm not trying to copy Graham Evans or compete with Graham at all. His videos are great, but it's just I speak to so many people, and I thought it would be useful just to make a list really of all the issues that people talk about, so that everybody is aware of why so many people are against this one-way system. Thanks.